These unique customization of gunslinger weapons can't be retrieved in Red Dead Redemption 2. Number 10. Emmett Granger. Emmett Granger is a retired gunslinger who appeared in Red Dead Redemption 2. After hearing he's been working at Granger's Hoggery for no how long, he's basically there to raise pigs and hogs. Arthur goes and pays him a visit to tell him about a book that Theodore Levin's working on for Jim Boy Callaway. He promised he'll tell him stories if Arthur cleans this mess up, which is pig shit. After not telling him stories, Arthur goes and grabs the dynamite from a table and basically places it on the ship mound. And here's a video I'll show you of what he says after Emmett Granger's covering poop. I'll pause the video and basically show you this video.
You just took yourself a regular shit shower, Mr. Granger. Boy, that's real nasty. You earned yourself a killing. And I'm going to enjoy it now. Draw. It's going to be the last thing you do.
Okay, so what I just saw is basically I saw Emmett Granger pulling out a knife, and he was trying to throw it at you. The main part is you must hurry up and shoot him, or otherwise the knife will go through your head and you'll die. Once after that, you must get a snapshot of the gunslinger in order to get honor points for Theodore Levin. You can actually retrieve his revolver, which is lying on the ground. Here's a gun, which is basically just a Callaway revolver with some unique designs. When the player decides to take the revolver, they have the option to press R1 or L1, or the player decides to not take the gun, then when they come back later on, the gun will disappear. Number 9. Flacco Hernandez. Flacco Hernandez is another gunslinger who appeared in Red Dead Redemption 2. Here's his story. After he heard he's living in the snowy mountains of Grizzlies, Arthur decides to go there, tell him about a book that Theodore Levin's working on Jim Boy Callaway in order to get answers for him. After that, basically after not telling the story, he basically draws a gun. Now you must hurry up and shoot this dude because he will not play around. He looks like he's armed with bandoliers, a sombrero, and even a custom grizzly bear belt. After you shoot him either in the stomach or head a couple times, you must take a picture in order to get honor points, and in this game you can either have the option to pick up his gun. Here's with the gun, which is another Algernon Revolver, and if you zoom in, it looks like it appears to be like an eagle, a Mexican eagle trying to protest over something. Number 8, Billy Midnight. It's a unique name for a gunslinger. Billy Midnight is also another gunslinger who appears in Red Dead Redemption 2. Either in Chapter 1 or Chapter 2, you can head to Rhodes by checking in with Alden, the train station clerk at Rhodes. After hearing that Billy Midnight one of his trains is coming up, you can see him at a train bar, and basically Arthur tries to tell him a story about Jim Boy Callaway, but he does not want to know what he did after he murdered somebody. After that, he goes on top of the train and challenges him for a duel. Now you must point your gun to his basically his hand so that the gun would drop on the train. But here's also another secret. He pulls out another gun, tries to put it at his head, which he tries to kill himself. But you have the option to let him kill himself or kill him in the head. And then you must take another picture of him. And I'm not really sure if why he was going to kill himself, because he's a famous gunslinger from the 1800s. And here's the pistol. Actually, it's actually an 18th century Mauser pistol, which looks like a World War II Mauser pistol, which has custom designs like an angel praying. Number 7, the Navy Revolver. Navy revolvers are not that much of a tech, but Navy revolvers are basically appeared what Clint Eastwood used in his movies. Navy revolvers are basically just one heck of a guide that can basically help you kill enemies faster. Now, the only way this is that you can't access it in story mode. You can only play either in online, which you have Xbox or PlayStation, or the only thing you can play is either get it in Red Dead Redemption 2 if you have the PC version of it. Basically, the Navy Revolver has a couple of 6 rounds, which has 6 chambers of it. Now, the main part is most enemies shoot down if you shoot them, but you can appear at this any time that I cannot believe. There's also another appearance that you can actually get the Navy Revolver in GTA Online if you complete the murder mystery of a slasher killing which we call the Los Santos slasher. It's the same thing as the one in Red Dead Redemption 2, but if you zoom on it, it has like blood spots on it, and it says slasher. I'm not sure exactly if I got that right, but GTA Online is a good game where you can actually kill people for free and such that. Number 6, the LeMat Revolver. Another famous revolver that a person uses in movies. This was called the John Wayne Revolver. He uses this in his movies. The LeMat Revolver contains two symbiotics. One for revolver cartridges, and the other one for shotgun slugs. You can switch them by any point you want, but if you choose the shotgun one, it makes a high-pitched sound like the sawing-off shotgun. To achieve this, the LeMat Revolver also appeared in the PC version of Red Dead Redemption 2 in the story mode version, and also appeared in Red Dead Online. The main point is that the customization of whether you can customize them either the black tint or the gold tints. The gold tint basically refers to as basically when you're trying to customize a revolver, you must have all the unique styles you can, such as the garnish and every other plate you can actually buy for the LeMat Revolver. Number 5, the rare rolling block rifle. This is also another thing you can actually find in Red Dead Redemption 2. The rare rolling block rifle can only be accessed when you're playing a mission when you're looking for Josiah Trelawney after he has a bounty on him. Once that, Josiah Trelawney has basically lived in a caravan beside roads where he basically packs everything up and move out. Basically after that, you basically find him being beat up into a cabin that's on top of the Braithwaites. After hearing he's been working in the Vanderlyn gang and not paying them for the moonshine they paid for him, they take him and they beat him up. And basically, a couple of bounty hunters show up, and one of them is holding this rare rolling block rifle. You must hurry up and shoot him, or they will shoot you back. I suggest you shoot him in the head and retrieve this rare rolling block rifle in your collection. But be sure to collect it. Don't drop it, because this is the rare. But you have other options to customize a rare rolling block rifle. Number 4, the rare shotgun. This rare shotgun is basically one of the biggest things you can ever. It's hard to find. Just outside of Annisburg, you can go to this place where like a house, and there'll be a hermit who's basically living there, and he will ask you to get off this property, or he will come out and shoot you. If you decide to stay at his place, he will come out with a shotgun, which is a rare shotgun that appeared in his hand. The main part is you must shoot him quickly, or he will disappear without getting the shotgun back. The shotgun itself is basically just a standard double-barrel shotgun that's basically just has a couple of like animal cravings inside of it, and just a metal alloy brass and just everything on it for just unique designs. Number 3, Dutch's Revolver. There is no point of game. Number 3, Otis Miller's Revolver. Now here's the most part ever that people have been trying to find. Otis Miller's Revolver is basically hidden out in the New Austin, which John can only retrieve. Here's the backstory. Just in the early 1800s, before the epilogue, Otis Miller is basically tired of him trying to do his gunslinger against Del Lobos, where he's trying to kick Native Americans and Indians out of their territory in order to gain more money and assets to take part of Cochinay. Basically, after that, he hid his revolver and a couple pictures of gunslingers, what appears, and basically he kept them in a treasure chest in Rattlesnake Hollow. Rattlesnake Hollow ain't that far from here. It's just by Armadillo. Once you retrieve this, you have the other option to look at it and examine it, which looks like a good custom-ass gun that basically appears to have like a weird good engraving on the revolver handle, which is the only thing you cannot customize, and some other unique designs. And the pictures are just a couple of gunslingers he shot out in New Austin. Number 2, Jim Boyd Calloway. Jim Boyd Calloway is the most vicious and dangerous player you can never find in Red Dead Redemption 2. In Chapter 6, you can see him on a boat, and he's been talking weirdly. He has been weirdly near about an old gunslinger of him named Slim Grant, who's basically working at the Annisburg State Marshal. Just after hearing the location of the Annisburg sheriff, you go and you find him, and you must take it back to him at Brandywine Drop, just off the waterfall. After hearing too much trouble of Jim Boyd Calloway, Slim Grant appears to be talking about the time he wants to become a U.S. Marshal, but basically he has no optimistic prime. He just goes ahead and just shoots him, and then Arthur challenged him to do a duel, which Arthur says no, and he says yes. After you shoot him, you can retrieve his revolver, which is a custom revolver, and it has something on it. If you look closely at the revolver, it says Canis Canem Edit. Now, that's a reference from the video game Bully. If you type up Canis Canem Edit, it's an abbreviation for something. Canis Canem Edit is a symbol for dog eat dog. The UK version of it. That's a weird theory that Bully reference, and because basically most video games put reference in them. Now here's the number one pick story. If you like playing Red Dead Redemption 2, here's a one more. This is why change your whole Red Dead Redemption 2 video game playing life. This is one of the most hateful characters ever that appear in Red Dead Redemption 2. Just a horrible character who reminds me of Rob Zombie a little bit. Okay, here we go. Number 1. Myka Bell. Yes, we all know Myka Bell is actually a gunslinger. So Myka Bell is basically part of the Vanderlyn gang where he keeps causing bad havoc around the whole camp. Like, for example, he burnt down the ranch that they were going to move in and basically try to kill a dog. Scaring little Jack Marston. Everything he does in the camp causes him trouble. But here's something. Myka Bell is not a good person. The reason why. The actor behind this, John Blomquist, explains of why Myka Bell is the worst character ever. Myka Bell is basically one of the most unplayable characters you can actually discover. If you complete the epilogue, here's Myka Bell here. Myka Bell has a good revolver that you can actually retrieve after the epilogue. After hearing that he was actually here's the backstory of why he's being bad. After finding out that he basically betrayed the whole gang into the whole time talking to the Pinkertons about the whole robbery and all the stuff they've been doing, Myka Bell is basically on Molly O'Shea's side, which Molly ran her mouth and Susan shot her with her shotgun. After that, basically Myka and Dutch are working better to have their lives repeat after they found out Arthur said that John Madoc on the other side to live out life with his family. They were gonna go to Tahiti, but basically Myka said that he has a secret hideout that he's been hiding on top of Mount Hagen. You can go there with Sadie and Charles, but you have to defeat his goons. After he hanged Cleet, you kill Joe, and you go near Myka. He tells you a story about, hello, did you miss me? And that Dutch comes out and tells him it's been a long while. After that, Dutch shoots Myka in the stomach, and you have the option to kill him back. And when you come back a little bit later on, you can actually retrieve his revolver. And here's the revolver I'll show you. It's like a cool revolver that I will show you wonders. What the revolver says on the one side, it says "Vengeance shall be mine," and the engraving is like a red skull type. I didn't know Myka Bell was a gunslinger. Oh, and also, to be on the safe side, there's also one more revolver, the Algernon Revolver. Once you complete this mission, basically you'll retrieve an Algernon Revolver after hearing that his maid or his lover didn't want the orchids that he gave to her. He basically wants to kill himself, basically. But that's an option. You can take the revolver and he'll give you an exotic hat. So, what is your favorite revolver from Red Dead Redemption 2? I say my favorite one is the Jim Boyd Calloway one, because that's a reference from the Bully, Canis Canem Edit, which is a abbreviation for dog eat dog in the UK version. here's Algernon'S Revolver, and it's just like a bunch of pearls and crystals. Thank you everyone for watching this video. If you want to see more, hit the link down below. I'll be posting more videos later on, so stay tuned for that. Thumbs up for safety.